Let's take a look at assignment number 1. We call it the house assignment, but you may use any other building that you would like. Could be a church, a school, a store, someone else's house. Always remember though, if you're going to use someone else's house, please don't just walk up to a random stranger's house on the street and start taking pictures. That's awkward and weird, and you might get questioned. Okay, let's go ahead and start. As always, you are going to have 3 different required shots, and they always must be zipped. The first shot is something called the full frontal shot. Now what that means is you are getting a picture of your building, your house, whatever, from one side all the way to the other side, and from the bottom all the way to the top. If for some reason your house or building is covered up a little bit with a tree or a car or some other feature, don't worry about that. You will also remember to stand directly in front of your building, not off to one side or the other side or from the side or the back of the building. Your next shot will be a close-up detail. Now this flower right here is a small detail outside of the church, so it doesn't necessarily have to be a detail on the building. It could be directly outside the building as well. But you're going to zoom in and find a detail somewhere around the outside of the building. The last photo that you're going to take is up to you. It's just from a completely different angle. So it could be like here, you're getting down low and looking upward. You could go around to a different side of the building, but you're just going to take it from a completely different angle than the first 2. Let's take a look at some past student examples. Of course, here we have our full frontal shot, the house from one side to the other, from the top to the bottom. Now this person went a little over to the right. They could have, to get a full front shot, maybe been over here directly in front of the house, but this totally works. Of course, here down on the lower left is the close-up detail, and then again over here, completely different angle. Okay, the student went all the way around to the back of the house and is just getting from a completely different angle this corner of the house right here. For those of you who live in apartment buildings, I get lots of questions about this, but what if I live in an apartment? So you're still going to use the building, the whole building, okay? Not just a shot of your door, because that would be more like a close-up detail. So here, if this apartment building is very, very large, very wide, and so here the student just did the best he or she could to get in the whole building, which is perfectly fine. I am not that much of a stickler. Okay, here's the close-up detail. I have a lot of students say, but my house or my apartment, whatever, it's so ugly. There's nothing pretty about it. There's nothing interesting. Well, I beg to differ because this apartment building appears to be pretty plain. However, this student still got really creative finding the close-up detail. Still a cool photo. And again, over here, very creative. Only got one corner of that gigantic building, and the rest of the photo is mostly the environment around it. But this works. It's a completely different angle. One more example. Here again, we have the house side to side, top to bottom. Vehicle covering up a small portion of the house, that is totally okay. Some of you have trees in front of your house, that's totally okay. Here we have the close-up detail. Very cool angle, by the way. And then again, completely different angle over here. Now, keep in mind, you're not just going to take 3 photos of your house. You're going to take lots and lots and lots of photos. You're just going to choose 3. I always tell students that the reason that you take so many is because you learn from each photograph you take. Luckily, we have these screens where we can look back at the picture we just took, and you might say, oh, that's not quite right. I need to move a little bit. Or, oh, that's not quite right. I need to get a little closer or a little further. Or wait, that one's a little too blurry. Okay? So the first photo you take is definitely not going to be the very best one. So take a bunch. Okay, here's some things to remember. Once again, you have 3 specific shots. The first one is one wide-angle photo of the whole house. That's the one I call the full frontal. Next is the close-up detail. And then we have one more from a different angle. Remember to zip your photos. Also, you can take a look at the rubric to see how the assignment is graded. Most of you will know what a rubric is, but if not, on the course homepage over on the left-hand side, you'll see an area where I have uploaded all the rubrics for all the assignments, and it just says exactly how I grade each photo. How I grade, I'm sorry, not photo, how I grade each assignment. Okay, you can see not only the requirements, but how much everything is worth. So you can use it kind of like a checklist. And then lastly, remember that you can use any building as your subject. You are not just limited to your house. If you have any further questions, go ahead and shoot me a K-mail or give me a call or text, and I'd be happy to help you out. Okay, happy shooting!